the news and weed out the nonsense so you guys don't have to. 30 minutes or less. Why? Because anything longer than that is just BS, anyways. Oh, so yeah, let's get off into some birthdays. Today is June 10th, 2026. It's Wednesday, hump day, you guys. It is 21 degrees Celsius. That's 69.8 degrees Fahrenheit to you guys down in the States. And yeah, let's start off with some birthdays. Today in 1832, German automobile engineer Nicholas Otto, inventor of the compressed charge internal combustion engine. Wow, I totally wrote that wrong. He passed in 1891 at the age of 58. And then today in 1921, Prince Philip of Britain, he passed in 2021 at the ripe old age of 99. Man, did he look like crap. Like, you almost make you wonder what he was getting himself into, that Prince Philip guy. Also today in 1928, writer and illustrator of the 1963 book Where the Wild Things Are, Maurice Sendak. Maurice Sendak. He passed in 2012 at the age of 83. And today in 1922, Julie Garland, famously known for The Wizard of Oz, her real name being Frances Ethel Gum. I did not know that. Julie Garland's real name, Frances Ethel Gum. She passed in 1969 at the age of 47 due to an overdose of prescribed barbiturates. She had a rough time after Wizard of Oz. She just couldn't have a go at it, and apparently during the filming of Wizard of Oz, she was abusing drugs quite heavily. And today, Elizabeth Hurley, born in 1965, she is 61 years old today. Actress slash model, supermodel. Uh, Probably I know her best for the movie Bedazzled, where she starred alongside Brendan Fraser, where she played the devil. But the end of the movie is a little interesting. You have to watch the whole thing, but really good movie. And then today, Bill Burr, born in 1968, is 58 years old today. Bill Burr, comedian. He had the cartoon show called F is for Family. That was really good. If you guys haven't seen F is for Family, really, really, really good show. I wish there was more seasons to go with that, but when you're writing stuff about your life and your family, it's you know, it only can get to a certain point. Oh, so yeah, today is June 10th. Today, you guys, 2026, Wednesday, hump day. It's 21 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius. That's 69.8 degrees Fahrenheit to you guys down in the States. I'm here Monday to Friday, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time. 30 minutes or less. Why? Because anything longer than that's just BS anyways. So yeah, let's get into the news. So over to China, I've been talking about this a lot lately, this new sodium batteries, and we're always wondering like when this technology is actually going to start being produced, or if we're actually going to see this new sodium technology, in our time, or if it's just going to get, hidden underneath the carpet with all the other classified boxes. But China's CAT L is CATL, Domestic Energy Storage Solutions Division, have just revealed that the first batch of their sodium ion battery and energy storage systems should be out by this September. So, still in 2026. So, this is kind of like they're going to learn as they go, due to the fact that just having this facility set up, it's a little complicated. It's not your average lithium ion battery setup, so they're going to be tweaking things as they go throughout this, and they should have proper like capabilities or the equivalent capabilities of what we know of a lithium ion battery today by 2027. And the costs of producing these sodium ion batteries should start coming down now that they're starting to figure out here's a way to start mass producing them. But now we need to like really so it's like more efficient, cheaper to produce. Yeah, and get more product out there as well. So yeah, that this is quite a big thing. It's good to see this new sodium-based battery actually getting some production. As far as I know, this is for kind of like a consumer-based thing. This isn't going to be an industrial storage capacity kind of design for this battery. By what I'm looking into, it'll be like your average things like cell phone batteries. More so, typically, right now, I think they're looking into car batteries for hybrids or electric vehicles due to the fact that apparently they aren't as volatile when it comes to fire. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. China's CATL. Check them out. They should be. Yeah, what was it? I think by September. Yes, September of this year they'll have a first batch of these batteries. And then over to Canada and the US here. So the Gordie Howe Bridge, this whole bridge that's been a lot of controversy, a lot of talk back and forth of like who is responsible for it, who paid the bill for it, whose workers worked on it, where do the materials came from, blah blah blah. Well, the ribbon cutting ceremony is going to be this Friday. Finally, finally. But just wait, just wait. Just because the ribbon's getting cut doesn't mean that there's going to be vehicle traffic yet. Yet. There's no projected vehicle traffic supposed to be going through there until later this June. Like we're already pretty much in the middle of the June already, you guys. So yeah, projected vehicle traffic across there is yeah not going to be until the end of this month. So, and then this is kind of funny. This is like right on the heels right now of this Kuzma talk, which is going to be on July 1st. So, and with what's happening between Carney and Trump right now, just this whole Gordie Howe Bridge thing right now, there is no, it's two bulls in a china shop and just everything's getting wrecked underneath all of this right now. So, you, you can't it's two people who want their own ways and they're not going to get it. And then this isn't going to help going into this Kuzma talks on July 1st. And as of this morning, if you guys haven't heard, Trump said on live television that the Kuzma deal will not be renewed. So, are they going to be going to the United States to talk about this Kuzma deal? Well, they're going for this Kuzma talk. So, is it not going to be Kuzma? Is it going to be labeled something else? Like, there's really no talk around what the new, outline of all this is going to be. But, like, right now, pretty much Mexico and Canada are like, so what's the point of even going to this meeting about Kuzma if it's not even going to get revised? But, there still could be something, just not Kuzma. And Mexico and Canada are already working around these issues right now. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But you know how it is when it comes to Trump in his sound bites. He says one thing and everyone gets all freaked out and hot and horny over it, and really nothing ever really comes to of it. Like even when it comes to all these massive tariffs and stuff that he threatened a lot of these countries with, a lot of these countries aren't actually getting hit with tariffs that badly. Now they're starting to really pick out the ones that are an issue or that are having economic creating economic devastation throughout the United States due to the fact that purchasing cheaper products from those foreign countries. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this Kuzma, but I think it's like I said, I've been saying this like right from day one when they talked about this July 1st meeting about Kuzma that this isn't going to happen. There's going to have to be some other way around this. Oh, and then down into the United States. This is kind of interesting. If you guys didn't see or anything, there's a aircraft. Well, uh, aircraft manufacturing company in California there that had a tank catch on fire, and they had to force out 50,000 people from their homes for multiple days due to the risk that this tank was going to explode. And not just explode, be toxic throughout all this area. Well, now the FBI are getting involved. They're going through this company's records like with a fine-tooth comb, and they could be, putting up some legality or going after this company right now. But like I said, it's FBI is just going through their files. This could just be a thing due to the fact that it was such a moment where something could have really went badly, and it just, thank goodness it didn't. But I think this is just, FBI getting involved due to the fact that, technically an explosive situation. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Like, all I could really see right now is just fines. Like, I couldn't really see the company really getting hit with lawsuits or anything. And then yes, there are a lot of those 50,000 people who were pulled from their homes for multiple days that are planning on suing, or already getting into litigation of suing this aircraft company. But we'll see what happens. This is a company that is backed by the U.S. government too. It does have some contracts with them as well. But I'll talk about them a little bit more tomorrow. And then yeah, some other interesting news. Yeah, so Leonardo da Vinci there, they had just released online his notebooks, so you can go look at them. So if you guys are out there online, go try and check out the Leonardo notebooks that he has. There's quite a few. There's over just under 200 or 2,000 pages, just under 2,000 pages that are now available to look at online at the Museo Galileo in Florence and the Victoria and Albert Museum website as well. But you guys, it's pretty easy to find. It didn't take me long to find these little booklets or these pictures of Leonardo's artworks and just thoughts and sketches. It's pretty interesting. And then back over to Canada here, over to Nova Scotia. The company behind that spaceport and the maritime launch services, there getting that $200,000 from the U.S. or Canadian government towards their space program, is creating a lot of controversy, especially in the Maritimes right now, because apparently this company, Maritime Launch Services, has been promising these locals jobs and job creation for quite some time now, and yet it's kind of like everyone's getting fed up, take a shit and get off the pot already, or start creating some jobs. You just got $200,000 from the federal government. Now let's see it getting used, due to the fact that this rocket launching site is literally just a road and a concrete pad. But if you go to many rocket launching site facilities like throughout Canada, it's pretty much the same thing. I think Churchill, Manitoba is probably one of the ones that has probably the most equipment sitting there. It still has a lot of infrastructure still sitting there, which I thought would have been a better place due to the fact that the town is kilometers away from this rocket launching site, and due to the fact that it's in the Arctic Circle. And wouldn't it just make more sense to test rockets closer to the Arctic Circle instead of in the Maritimes? Like, it's this 6-7 Bueller. Oh yeah, Bueller's not here today. So yeah, a lot of people, and then there's a lot of people that want to see this rocket launching some company stay, to create jobs. But if they haven't created jobs, then what's the point? And then where's this money going? Because nobody's seeing any value in this. And what were they paying? I think $15,000 per year for this exact land in the first place. So that doesn't really equate to the $200 million grant that, well, not grant, money that the federal government gave to maritime launch services. It just doesn't make sense. Like, just add up the time. 15,000 times how many years? It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, there's a lot of controversy. There's a lot of people that don't want the rocket launching site there. There's some people that are only 3 kilometers away from the site, and then, like, why is nobody talking to them about this? It's like, yes, we have to talk to the Aboriginals and stuff and the First Nations when it comes, putting in pipelines and doing major infrastructure. But here in the Maritimes, no one asked the locals really, like, what their thoughts were. all they heard was, "You're going to create jobs? Great. We need jobs because we're about to lose our hospital due to the fact that we don't have enough people in this community, and their school is about to move to the next town over due to the fact that they don't have enough students or population there." So yeah, quite a bit of controversy coming out of Nova Scotia. So yeah, we'll have to see what yeah, I'll have to check those out. 2-4 for sure. Uh, DJ's here too. And then a little bit more Canadian news. So, some Canadian federal employees, over 68,000 Canadian federal employees opted out for the, early retirement to kind of fill a gap right now while they can, because there is a lot of jobs that are needed, especially in the government like kind of agencies. There's a lot of people that are getting close to retirement but they don't qualify. But with all these jobs that are just sitting there waiting for people to fill, they allowed so far they've allowed 4,300, almost 4,400 people have been approved for this early retirement right now, and this is out of 7,300 who have fully applied for this right now. So they're about halfway done going through this approval process for early retirement for government employees. And which is kind of funny, there's only been 12 so far out of the 4,400 that have, only that have been, denied this early retirement. So that's a little interesting. But I'd like to see the people who are waiting for these jobs actually getting these jobs, because I know a few people that opt out to retire early in other government positions, and to really see the steps that the people took, like for them to leave. For example, okay, my stepmom had a government job. There was somebody underneath her, and instead of laying her off after all her getting all her education and stuff, my stepmother got to leave the military 5 years earlier. So, but really, you didn't get to see the proper transition from that person they said they wanted to replace her with get that position. All the time that it took for that person or for my stepmother to leave was a big, big gap of time to get their approval to do this. And now you had a lot more people applying for this job as well. So it kind of created a headache between the people who were working under her, and then she had no say either. It's like the job was supposed to go to this person, but due to the fact that it took me so long to leave, it gave opportunity for other people from other areas of Canada to apply for this job. But it should have went to that person. That was the whole reason for her to retire. And then that person that spent all this money on their education didn't end up getting to use it because somebody else with just a little bit more seniority and just a little bit older than that person got pushed out. So it's a dog eat dog world. You think you're going to get something and you're not. And then to some of these people who are opting out, like, why would you care anyways? You're going to get your early retirement. You don't have to worry about what's happening at work after that. But there is a lot of windfall that comes, or a lot of tragedy that comes to a lot of these people that are opting out to leave right now. Puts other people in like false hopes to where their job listing is going to be. Like it's pretty toxic, especially when it comes to government politics. Oh, and then over to Ontario. This is interesting. Doug Ford just signed a deal with Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. And then Ford also stating that if Shapiro is going to be the next president of the United States. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold on there. Whoa, whoa. Okay, first of all, you're just Doug Ford, dude. I wouldn't be sitting there supporting and promoting somebody for the United States of America, president of the United States of America, when you're not an American in the first place. So mind your own business, Doug Ford. Worry about what you're doing in Ontario. But what did Josh Shapiro and Doug Ford sit there and sign an agreement on? Ooh, this is interesting. They signed a strategic cooperation on electricity transmission, critical minerals, manufacturing, agriculture, artificial intelligence, life sciences, forestry, and the Great Lakes with Pennsylvania. Well, this is coming from a guy who is going to ban American liquor and ban Manitoba liquor because they moved the bottling company to the United States. Like, hello? Oh yeah, Bueller's not here. Bueller, where the fuck is Bueller right now? Okay, like, now think about this. This guy is gonna sit there and ban American products and products from Manitoba. Well, he blackmailed Crown Royal out of $108 million so they could put their product on Ontario shelves. Yes, Crown Royal had to put money into Ontario, roughly $108 million into some form of infrastructure project for Doug Ford to allow them to start putting Crown Royal on Ontario shelves. And this guy is just going and talking to Pennsylvania governor here and creating, transmission line deals, critical mineral deals, manufacturing, agriculture. Hello, isn't that like an oxymoron? Anyone? Is that like he's literally calling himself a liar? Like, he's literally making himself look worse and worse every day. You think the whole jet thing between him and this still hasn't even been figured out. Is the jet gone? Oh yeah, it's been gone. It's been gone. No, it's not. It's still sitting there. It's still technically in your possession. And so yeah, you didn't sell that jet yet. So what's going on here, Doug Ford? Because really, I'm not too impressed. Yeah, the teachers and some of the other programs, and then Ontario campgrounds. You guys are getting what, like $60 million to start upgrading campground sites finally. Finally, after over 100 years, this is the most money that you finally put into your campsites throughout the province. Wow, Manitoba is constantly, at least every 2 or 3 years, Manitoba upgrades their campsites. Why? Because people like to go outside and enjoy it. But a lot of people now, when it comes to these campsites, they stay there all summer. So it doesn't allow other people, like weekend campers back and forth, back and forth. 2-4, you could probably understand where I'm coming from, but there's no space for the weekend campers anymore. So now Ontario is going to put $60 million, $60+ million into some of their campsites, allowing electricity, better shower facilities, better bathrooms, and just generally more campsites as well, which is good for the provincial government too. These campsites make money, and really, once it's set, it's really just a permanent money maker. It's guaranteed money. You don't have to put a lot back into it after it's done. You like basic lawn care, tree care services, but once the infrastructure is set there, it's an easy money grab. And I don't know why a lot of provinces aren't putting more money into these campsites because, like I said, it's free money. Why let all these other private companies take all the campsites and make all the money? Yeah, they're still paying taxes, but if it's the province's actual campsites, it all that money goes to the province. You know what I mean? Like it. See, it's a win-win situation for the provinces to do this. Is build more campsites, and it's becoming more of a thing. Since COVID, people are going out more, like and camping more. It kind of revised what camping was again. People are starting to get like absorbed into their, daily lives and city life until finally COVID kicked out and like, wow, here, let's go camping. And now this is, and it only took how many years? What, COVID hit in what, 2020, 2021? So it only took 6 years for the Ontario government to actually realize, hey, we should start putting money back into our campsites. Wow. 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 Thank you all. Thank you all for just realizing that now. Like, there's a lot of people that are sitting here. It's just, there's almost no point of even crying wolf talking about some of this stuff because nobody listens anyways. Like, I'm thinking the only person right now who's actually listening is Wob Canoe. And what's really funny is I don't like this guy. And he's the only one I feel that is actually listening to the people. Yeah, there is Carney. He's doing stuff all in the background and stuff that we don't get to hear about. What he's doing with the automakers, the lumber industry. Well, the lumber industry, he just paid off to keep them quiet until this Kuzma thing can kind of get settled out because they're the only ones not speaking up right now. But they just got a buttload of cash from the federal government before this whole Kuzma talk thing started coming up. So it was like, yeah, just cool your jets, blah blah blah. Let me worry about all these other people first. Like auto workers were worried, the farmers were worried, fisheries and wildlife. Worried about this stuff. So now that all this stuff is starting to get taken care of, now he can start, working on other things as well. But to tell you the truth, I think Carney's doing a great job. And the criticism I'm seeing from him or people about him, like it's just so unfounded. Like really, you guys are like either just making stuff up or you're using stuff from months or years ago and you're using that as ammunition against him, but it's because you don't have any ammunition against him now. Yes, there's talks about him and his wife having connections with Epstein's. Yeah, okay. Carney's wife's sister went to school with Ghislaine Maxwell, okay? And yes, Carney, in the position he was when he worked at the Bank of England, yes, he did have interactions with Epstein, and he was put in those scenarios. You have to realize that too, because of his political part working for the Bank of England. You remember what was the name? Was it not Charles? What's his name? Prince William or whatever his name is. Yeah, who do you think was setting up these meetings? He was putting the British people at risk by telling Epstein all this private information. Like these are people you should talk to. This guy you need to talk to. This guy's connected to Canada and the Bank of England. And then, this, and he's also connected to BlackRock and all these other firms. This is one guy you need to talk to. Hence, I'm pointing at Carney. And this is, what's his face talking to Epstein. This is what he was doing. And I'd like to see the repercussions start coming his way, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. He's been dethroned, had all his titles and everything stripped from him, but yeah, I think it should go a little bit farther than that. We should go put him on the town square and give them all a couple lashings with some meter sticks. And I think one lashing from each of us would be suffice for sure. Hey, Real Roy, what's up? What's going on? Just finishing up the news today. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the news today, guys. 30 minutes or less. Why? Because anything longer than that's probably just BS anyways. So I will be back tomorrow for Thursday's show, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time. And here, I got a little bit of time. Some few things that happened today in history. Today in 1720, Mrs. Clements markets the first paste mustard. So like what we know is like mustard on our hot dogs and burgers. Really, before all that, people were just using it as a powder. Interesting, eh? Like mustard had to in a squirt bottle had to be invented. Well, ketchup had to be invented. I've been listening to this documentary about the Heinz family lately. I still haven't got through it. I keep falling asleep, but interesting history. The Heinz family kind of runs the same lady who invented mustard. Yeah, a guy invented ketchup. And then today in 1898, the U.S. Marines land in Cuba during the Spanish War. Yeah, yeah. What was it yesterday? I think this is where they declared war. Spain and America declared war on each other. Oh yeah, well, tell you the truth. Well, Britain's no better. They just abolished slavery, 60 years before the United States did. So they're no better. And technically, even after the United States, there's still a lot of slavery that happened. And today in 1963, the Equal Pay Act is signed in the US by John F. Kennedy shortly before him being assassinated. And today in 2003, Spirit rover begins its mission to Mars. That was in 2003. And that thing's still running. I don't know what to think about the pictures of this. I've seen the Spirit rover now, and it's like its wheels are all rotted off, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. But it's still running. Still running. And then today in 2007, The Sopranos final episode was today, June 10th. Yeah, HBO. But yeah, I'll be back for tomorrow's show, you guys. I'm here Monday to Friday, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time. Hit the like button, subscribe. 30 minutes or less. Why? Because anything longer is just BS. So, see you guys for Thursday's show. And yeah, you guys, if I don't see you, have a great week and try and enjoy this weather. A lot of flooding happening in Manitoba right now. Swan River's flooded out. Quite a few places around here that are overland flooding. And quite a few tornado sightings yesterday and some hail. All the emergency warnings were going off throughout the province all day, throughout the night. I think, was it, I think the last emergency warning I had was around 1 o'clock in the morning. So imagine if you have 3 cell phones in a house. They were all going off, so I just made a pile of cell phones so I could just turn them all off at the same time. But I think they're really making sure they work this time, because I know the Manitoba early warning system they had has had a few bugs, and there's a few times where it didn't work properly and a lot of people got upset. So it seems like they're really making sure it works this time, because I got more warnings than I needed. I probably 5 6 warnings throughout all of yesterday. Yeah, but you live in Manitoba, you just know. You just know, and it's like you see a pot of boiling water, you know not to put your hand in it. It's just common sense. And so most Manitobans are like that way too. So yeah, you see something bad, don't go mess around. I did get caught in the rain yesterday quite badly. I still haven't gone back and watched that video. I don't even know if you could see what I was seeing, because it was coming down so hard last night. But I did get some good shots of the town and some of the storm. But yeah, I'll be back for tomorrow's show. And you guys have a great night and enjoy your supper. And yeah, peace out. Ooh.